Hey everyone, Batel Skater here. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about something different and something that is excruciatingly useful in your everyday life, darling. So how can you disarm any negativity that comes your way, right? As we all know, there's negativity all around us right now, and you cannot deny the energies. They're very toxic, depending on where you're living in the world and who you choose to surround yourself with, including the thoughts that you allow in your mind. Now, of course, there's duality on planet of Earth, but most people, which is the human condition, they focus on the negative. What do I mean by that? Just want to make sure you can hear me. We have so much positivity going in our life. For example, we have all our bodies intact. We are healthy, right? Everybody's situation is different. We are healthy, however, right? We're still here. Now, maybe that sounds cliche, right? Because it's like, what if some people just want to die and get out of here because life is so hard, right? And all these emotions and all these situations that we constantly face on a daily basis, and what ifs and what's going to happen, and I can't wait to get to this point, and the fear of this person or that situation, or a lot of stuff. So we have a lot of positives, right? We can take a shower, we can eat, we can see, we can hear, we can smell. There's so much positivity going in our life, yet we choose to focus on all the negative crap. What is that? People's opinions, people's emotions, the negative energy, toxic people, right? Who said this? Who smeared this? What are they gonna think about me, right? So majority of our focus, depending on who you are, if you can really take a closer look in your mind and what you focus on, most of the time you're basically focusing on the negatives. And a lot of times it could be financial, family, people, relationships. Do we really focus on the positive? If you take a look at even commercials, excuse me, nowadays, if you can really look at commercials and really take a look, it seems like even promoting people who always look sad or are sick or just sad is being promoted. So basically humanity as a whole is to look stressed, depressed, and have an inflated sense of self, which is an ego, and just make sure that you look poppin', and that's where we are in the world, right? So how do you disarm any negativity that comes your way? How do you do that? If you're brand new to this channel, welcome. If you have not yet learned how to be mindful of your thoughts, because you're not your mind, right? We have a mind and we can use our mind to our advantage. Most people are the mind's slaves, which is the human condition. And that's why most of the time you sense mostly the negative, especially if you grew up in a toxic, abusive childhood, or if you still are codependent, or you are constantly facing challenges with negative people. You're facing not only your own negativity, but also their negativity, which is the mind, right? What they focus on, they project into the air, right? So if you are on this journey, okay, and you are looking to change that, you are looking for a doorway out of your own misery, you are looking to become the best version of yourself, you're looking to leave behind all the drama, the toxic people, just everything that brings you down. Mind you, where we live here in the 3D world, we will always experience duality. For example, you can wake up and feel joy. All of a sudden, you go outside and you see an accident. That's negative, right? You keep going, somebody gives you an attitude. That's negative. But then you're buying something, you're happy about it, right? So there's always duality. And that does not ever change. You're always going to face the good and the bad all the time. Sometimes you're even going to face like the worst case scenarios, like a death-threatening, life-threatening situation. Maybe court, maybe anything, right? But you have to face it. You have to face it. So when I talk about how to disarm any negative energy that comes your way, I actually mean you. It starts with you. In the end of the day, there are things happening outside of us all the time. People, energy, situations, outcomes. We don't really control these outcomes. As much as we want to believe that we control them, the only thing we can actually control is ourselves, right? So if you want to start learning how to disarm any negativity, first of all, you have to learn how to be here and now in order to see where you put your focus on. Are you focusing on the negative or are you focusing on the positive? Are you allowing negative people to stay in your life and you're trying to figure them out and you're trying to fix them and you're trying to be, this loving person and you're hoping that they're going to change, right? Are you going to toxic places where you know it's not good for you, but you still choose to go because you're so used to doing the same thing? When you are in public, do you choose to focus on people and what's going to happen and fears of some future outcome? Or do you allow yourself to just be present and enjoy your own self? When you feel negative energy, do you choose to look at it and focus on it, or you disarm it right away and you keep going? Right? It all starts with you. And it all starts in the now. What do I mean by that? In the beginning of the video, I said you're not your mind. You're not. You have a mind. And the mind has been conditioned to behave this way because of childhood, people's opinions, people's negativity, people's, emotions, right? But again, if you're on this path, then it's your job, nobody else's job. So you have to really see, when you wake up in the morning, what is it that you focus on? You got to really sit there and listen to your mind. Listen to it. Don't identify with it, right? A lot of times, you can sit and the mind just starts running. And then you just start attaching yourself to that. And then you can physically feel sick. You can physically feel sick. You'll feel drained. You'll feel scared. And you'll sit there for hours thinking about stuff. But when you can observe the mind and you can realize it's just a thought. It's just a thought. I can change that thought, or I choose not to even think. I choose not to think, and it's very possible. I'll give you an example. I've been taking the subway a lot lately, just because I actually like to sit there and see where my mind is going. What it is that I'm focusing on. What kind of energies do I feel, right? I like to observe the human condition. This is what I do, right? So when I'm on the subway and I feel something in the air, usually I feel it and I know exactly where it's coming from. A lot of times I don't look because I already know what it is, but sometimes I'm curious. I'm like, what is this? And I see. And it's an anxious person or somebody who constantly is looking around at everyone, right? Or it's a person who smells like a ton of cigarettes, right? It's just, just a little example. And you can sit there and, for example, you can dwell on the external forces, or you can remember that that's the energy that's happening over there. Sure, it's in the air, but I can actually get out of that energy field by focusing on who? You. So yeah, the energy is there and you can feel it, but you can detect, okay, that's not mine. And the minute you take that focus back onto yourself and you become present, then that energy no longer is going to interfere with your presence. It's no longer going to interfere with your peace. Okay? If the energy is too strong, you can always get up and go somewhere else. You have every choice in the moment to change your reality. You just have to be present to do so. See, when you live in the mind, and when you attach yourself to people, to things, to obsessively thinking about tomorrow or the next day or these situations that are happening, you're constantly draining your life force all the time. And so you cannot really do the right thing. You can't focus on the here and in the now and create the best outcome for yourself. A lot of times, the fear also arises by being afraid to just not think. Okay? That's like the number one fear. What's going to happen if I don't think? Who's going to attack me if I don't think? How should I protect myself if I don't have an ego? Guess what? When you're in a state of presence and you accept everything as it is, check this out. Let's say you're waking up in the morning. Let's start all over again. Let's start all over again. You wake up in the morning. Usually the mind starts running around like a son of a bee, right? Instead of that, you wake up, depends if you're a male or female, you say, "Good morning, beautiful." Instantly, your day starts positive. "Good morning, beautiful." You're telling yourself, "Good morning, beautiful." "Good morning, handsome," right? You're relaxed. You're in the now. Guys, realize that. You're not the mind. You are the physical here and now. You're putting on your chancletas, your slippers. You're walking to that bathroom and you're here and now, sitting on that toilet and taking that first urine of the day. No thought. Just be there and do that. Now, since you're starting early, you're starting fresh. That's how the day is starting. What's starting? Presence. Absolute presence. You're not giving out energy into the air about worry or focusing on people or the this or the that or the ish or the ish. You're just here, which means that all your energy is here. You're experiencing the here. Let's say, for whatever reason, you turned on the sink and oh my God, there's only cold water. Just an example. Don't know where you live or what's your life circumstances, right? Cold water. Usually people will get super pissed off. Oh my God, why is this happening to me? Cold water, I can't believe it. It's freezing outside. No. Laugh about it, you guys. Just it's happening in the present moment. You can't change these things. You have to realize that things are going to constantly happen and you are the witness of them happening, and it's your physical body and it's the way that you think and what you choose to be in the now that's going to make a difference in your reality. The more you can accept the reality of what is, you will realize that all this extra stress crap is for no reason. And let me tell you, everybody lives like that. So let's continue. Let's say the water is cold and you have to brush your teeth. It's either you're going to choose to brush your teeth with cold water, or you can simply take a bowl, place that cold water in there, go heat it up on the stove for a second, come back and brush your teeth with warm water. Congratulations. What I'm saying here is look at how much fun you can have in the present moment if something doesn't go the way that you expected it to go. The same thing can happen with a train or a taxi or an airplane, right? The same thing can happen if, let's say you go outside, and you got to really capture what I'm saying here, okay? Because you have to understand, you guys, if you can, that the only way to dismiss any negative anything is to just completely be in the present and accept things as they are. Now, a lot of times you will say, oh my gosh, what if this person is yapping and screaming at me? Am I supposed to accept what it is? Let me ask you a question. Is it you who's angry, or is it your ego that has expectations of how the present moment is supposed to be? So let's talk about that. You're going outside, somebody's yelling and screaming right at you. It is directed towards you. This horrible, crappy crap. Now you can A, choose to feel like a victim. Why is this happening to me? Why do I have to face this garbage all the time? Argue with the person. Or are you going to be in the present moment as yourself, no mind, and accept, oh gosh, this is the experience that apparently I was supposed to have today. Okay, he's yelling and screaming, or she's yelling and screaming. This is not for me. And you walk away. Boom. You just ended a cycle. Not with this person. You're never going to see them again. But you ended a cycle with yourself. You are no longer identifying with the ego that wants things to be a certain type of way. You're not a victim. You just accepted that this is the reality. This is what just so happened to come into my reality this morning, or this afternoon, or this evening. Let me give you an example. My example. I was walking tonight at night. It was like 11 p.m. and I'm in Manhattan, just minding my own business, listening to something on my headphones, but I can still hear the streets very clearly. And this guy just walks up to me and asks me for $1. And I completely ignored him as like he didn't even exist, right? And I'm walking a whole block away and I completely forgot about him, you guys. Absolutely, completely forgot about this person because I'm focusing on myself. I'm not focusing on people, okay? If you think that's selfish, that's cool. And then I just decided to just stand by the street and lean back on the signal pole until the next walkway was possible. You guys won't believe what happened. The poor guy actually walked after me the whole time. And he gets in front of like 2 feet away from me and he's like, do you have $1? Can you give me $1? Like, again. And this was, I did not expect that to happen. You know what I'm saying? You don't know what's going to happen, you guys. Things are just going to happen in the present moment. So, usually I would ignore that again, but this time I decided to speak up. And I didn't look at him, and I just turned my head to the corner and I shouted, not angrily, but I gave him that, distinct, I said, go ask someone else. Or I said, go find someone else, or something like that. And he just kind of stood there, and then he walked away. He got the point. This dude was chasing me for $1. Okay? You don't know what's going to happen in the present moment, you guys. But if you're obsessively thinking, for example, about something, if you are not fully in the here and in the now, you will, for example, if that was like a dangerous person, right? And they were going to chase me, just an example. You have to be completely present in order to take on whatever is going to happen. I had no idea I was being chased, you guys. So things are going to happen. And it's up to you what you're going to do with that. Clearly, the first time I ignored him, he had to chase after me. So the second time, I had to instill some force, right? Go get it from someone else. Okay? It's just an example. Like, I think I'm a little like kind of thinking about that situation. It's really funny, but so, and another example, beautiful example. And again, this is what I want to talk about in the present moment. You don't control the things that people do. You control how you react. You control how you feel about the situation. Okay? Of course, me, I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this person was chasing after me. What is it about me that made him chase after me? That was a thought. That was a thought. What is it about me that made him chase after me? Now I could sit there and dwell. You see how I'm talking about what comes to mind? You got to analyze these things, and you got to see, oh, it doesn't matter what he thinks about me or not. It just so happened to be that way. It's not because of I looked a certain type of way, or I behaved a certain type of way, or I just look like a person who have like mad cash in my pocket. It just so happened to be that this person still chased after me in the present moment for that dollar. Okay? In the middle of the night. So, another example, I was getting back on the train to go home, and as soon as I get in the subway, I see this male who is maybe my same age, and he gave me the stank face, male. Very, very unattractive face the way he looked at me. Now, things could be both. You see, this is where I'm trying to get at. Negative things are going to happen in the present moment. Can you control these people's behavior? No. But you can control the outcome for yourself. So I saw that and I said, okay, that's just what he chooses to, that's who he is. I can't control that. I'm not going to feel any type of way about it. That's the face. I didn't expect that. What did I do? I turned around. I looked the other direction. You have to choose, and this is like simple examples, right? But you got to understand that it's where you focus. Okay, now a lot of people may not understand what I'm saying. There's a lot of egos. There's a lot of misconceptions about how things are supposed to be. There's a lot of like, oh, Batel, how do you ignore somebody who asks you $1? There's all types of stuff that I'm sure that pops up into people's head as I'm speaking. But since you are the creator of your reality, since it's your life and you have free will and these people have free will, right? Everybody has this free will. They can choose to chase after you for $1. You can choose to ignore them for the $1. Somebody can look at you with a stank face. You can turn around. Things are always going to happen in the present moment. Who are you going to be? Right? So let's continue a little bit further before the series ends today. When you really ground yourself in the present moment, like absolutely ground yourself in the present moment, you stop thinking about what people think. You stop caring about what people are going to do or they don't do. And all of a sudden, because you accept the here and then, like the here and now, you go outside and you accept that things are as they are supposed to be. Sure, there's a lot of negativity going on out there, but it's not for you to try to figure out or change. Since you are the here and now, you are the observer of the here and now, including your own thoughts, feelings, and emotions. I always talk about that. You are the observer, you guys, of thoughts, feelings, and emotions. So you can always, when you walk, when you're minding your own business, and there are insane thoughts in your head. And when I say insane, they truly are insane. Why? Why are they insane? Who can truly tell me that they are walking without thinking? Right? Can you do that? Ask yourself, why does the mind always have to work? Why is it impossible for you to just be grounded in the now? When I say insane, it's because the mind just won't leave you alone. It's like a leech. Think about this, worry about this, try to figure this out, try to do this, try to get there. We got to get there. We got to think about that too. Do we really? Or can we just drop the thoughts, which means dropping the negative stuff as well? And then when you walk, you see things as they are, and all of a sudden you will understand on a bigger level, on a beyond 3D level, beyond whatever you want to call it level, that when you're really there, it doesn't matter if it's negative or if it's positive, it is what it is. It's your mind that can either destroy the now or accept the now and keep going. Now, since most people live in the mind, there's all these types of things going on, right? And you can't sit there and tell somebody if you're on this path. You can't sit there and try to explain to the person in the street, for example, or the person that gave you a face, or for somebody who's not validating you. You can't be like, hey, you gotta be in the present moment and just experience it with me. Stop being such A, B, and Z. They can't. They live in the mind. Right? So you gotta understand that even if some BS happens, even if like the car stops working, or you get stopped by a police officer, or oh my gosh, somebody's about to give birth, you got to go to the hospital. Guys, all these things are happening in the present moment. You just got to be there and experience them, period. But guess what? If you know that there's something negative, a toxic person, a toxic situation, something that if you just say, you know what, I know I don't have to deal with this. I know I don't have to be here and take this, and walk away. You just walked away from a situation that's occurring, but it's not for you. You can still get out of it. So let's get back to what I was saying. How to stop negativity. How to disarm negativity from coming your way. It always starts with you. You either accept it and be pissed off at it, or you can just be there in the now and accept, okay, this negative thing I may not like, but it's happening. And I'm not talking about physical abuse or sexual abuse. If that's happening, you get the hell out. See, the biggest misconception about being here and now is that if you're being abused, you should just be there and take the abuse because it's happening in the here and in the now. No, in the here and in the now, you can always change that reality. You have to change that reality. Okay? Somebody's, for example, chasing after you, or somebody wants to stare at you like a psychopath and get you to be in that vibration with these people. It's all mental. It's all mental. That's where their mentality is at right now. That's what they are thinking. It's a thought. You see? Everything is thought. Now, are you going to engage with that thought? Or are you going to engage with your own here and now? What you choose to see, what you choose to focus on. So when you wake up in the morning and your mind starts going nuts and starts to drag you to this negative hole of what is going to happen when I go out there? Oh my God. You're already energizing that, and that's what you're going to see. Ground yourself in the present moment without the mind. And you know what? In the beginning of the journey, when you start doing that, your ego is going to come up a lot. Why did this person look at me like this? Why did this have to be this way? I don't understand. I'm being in the here and now. Why are they? Remember, remember, remember. You cannot control what's out there. You can only control what's in here. You are the now, just like everybody else is the now. If that's the now and this person is negative, then that's the now. If there's an accident happening there, that's the now. Who am I in the now? Who am I in the now? Who are you in the now? You got to see life like a movie, sadly enough. And you are the character in a movie. Are you going to be the character that's focusing on all the drama and the negativity? Or are you the character in the movie that solely focuses on all the purity and the peace and the presence? And when you're in that state, nothing, you guys, can get in the way of that. Even if somebody chases you, shoot. Okay? Now you may say, oh, Batel, that was not a big deal. It's just a homeless person asking for $1. You really don't know that. It depends on how I could have responded to this person. If I gave them negative energy, could have went a whole different way. When you speak with assertiveness of what you want to experience. When you're afraid, then you're going to experience the opposite. So sure, we can actually sit here and say we can't control anything, but we actually have control about a lot of things. You can't really control, for example, the negativity, the toxic people, the outcomes that are happening outside of you. But you can always change what you want to see. Okay? Now there are people out there, you guys, who are not going to be on your level. They're going to look at you weird. They're going to try to bother you. They're going to do all types of stuff, but it's happening in the now. You just have to be present enough to take care of that, to handle that. Not with aggression, not with anger, not anxiety, not fear, not worrying about what they're gonna do. When you are completely, fully in the now without emotions and without thought, you control the situation because everybody else is living through the mind. So if you're not living through the mind and you're completely present, their thoughts and their ego is going to break down. You understand? It doesn't work. Consciousness and presence is the highest form of being. Nobody can cross over that. You understand? No thought, no mind can cross through that presence of peace. Nobody. But if you now attach yourself with their mind and their thoughts and all these feelings and all this ego stuff, now you are creating some illusion together, this negative outcome. When you do not attach yourself to the mind and the negative thinking, and you allow yourself to just be here and now, and you treat everyone as consciousness. For example, the guy who wanted $1, no, I'm not going to give him $1. What kind of conscious person walks to somebody and asks them for $1? That's a false self. No. And chasing after me? No. No man should ever ask a woman for money. I just also want to remind you guys this. This is something that you need to break as well in your life if you still believe that that's cool, okay? You got to stop enabling toxic behavior. You need to stop enabling the false self. A true self is abundant. You receive everything from the universe when you are in the here and in the now. I'm sure he can go get that dollar from another person. Don't worry about it if you're still worried about that. You know, a lot of people on my channel, they claim that, you know, all these types of stuff, you know, anyway. Now, also with the facial expression, for example, on the train, you cannot get mad at what these people are doing. You treat them consciously. When you're present, you treat them consciously. No, that's not my reality, and I'm not going to even be mad at you. I can't control how you think or how you feel or what you're going through internally. You got to treat yourself as you have to be the consciousness, you guys. That's why nobody can break you. Nobody. Because if you're the highest version of yourself, which is consciousness, there are no egos out there that can break that. They can try. And if they succeed, you're in trouble. If they succeed by getting an emotional reaction, if they succeed by making you react with ego, that's how you go back down to the low, unconscious way of being. Understand that the highest form of being is here and now. Here and now. Here and now. Here and now when you make that coffee or you're going to get that coffee. Here and now when you walk into that restaurant. Here and now when you are meeting up, oh my gosh, with a friend. I'm saying oh my gosh because if you're present and you're with somebody who doesn't know how to be present, it's not going to work out. It's not going to work out. You know, I know this was a long video, and it seems like you were probably expecting, you know, like, oh, how do I disarm any negativity? This is how. This is how. This is how. You got to let things be as they are. You don't control the negative people. You remove yourself from the negativity. That's all you're doing. That's all you're being. Because if you're consciousness and you're in the present moment, why do you want to interfere or interact with the negative, low vibrational minded way of being? You got to understand that most negativity and all negativity comes from the ego mind, the victim mentality, the unconsciousness, the insecurity, the lack, the needing external people and external things. That all these things come from the mind. The negative, low, you know, toxic, always in fear, always, you know, looking for the next thing and getting into car accidents because you're in a rush, you know, to go to places and boom, you're in the car, you know, so much stuff. You know, just another example before I end this here. When I left my house today, and this is late at night, you guys, I went out there at night. Like I just wanted to take a walk at night. I love doing these things. There was a group of early 20s people, and they were celebrating a lesbian anniversary, and they were coming out of a bar. Now, from afar, I can see one of the girls, she was holding these balloons on this big, giant bottle of something, okay? And instantly, I felt really bad, negative from these, like very negative energy. I felt like you know, they were quote unquote happy, but there was drama there. There was a toxic person there that was interrogating something, and I felt that. Now they are on alcohol, so you know they're somewhere else in the world. And I was there in the moment, and I was like, all right, this is happening right now, Batel, just turn, just go this way, just make a whole U-turn around them. Don't even look, don't even A, B, and Z. Guys, as soon as I passed by them, one of the girls threw the bottle, I don't know if it was towards me or the floor, and everything broke, and then they started making this insane, oh my God, and oh my God, why'd you do that? And we just bought the bottle. And you know, one of the girls who was toxic, she just started trying to come at them and blame them, and you guys get the idea. But you guys got to understand, you have to listen to your intuition too. I felt that thing from like a mile away, and I said, okay, go around them, and then look what happens. And instead of being mad, you guys, because you know, I don't know how most people, for example, they might not even care about that. They might laugh at that and go, oh, ha, 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 look what just happened. You know, they're so tipsy, they're so drunk. But you don't know what people are gonna do. So if you feel something, you have to get away from it, okay? That bottle was thrown, don't know where, could have landed on my head, could have hurt one of these people. I don't want to be around them. You understand? And it's happening in the now. If I wasn't in the present moment, for example, if I was in my head and I was like pissed off at something or thinking about some ish, you know, and walked through that crowd, something would have probably happened, you guys. So you have to really, truly be in the present moment in order to avoid these types of situations for your sake. Understand, okay, that I think I'm a little bit, you know, kind of going ham on these explanations, but the moral of the story here is start teaching yourself, start grounding yourself, start learning how to listen to the mind and detach from the thoughts rather than constantly, identifying with them as if it's actually who you are, because it's not, okay? And you may say, oh, Batel, but you thought about these girls doing something bad. No, that was intuition. Two different things. You know, intuition is the gut feeling. Thoughts are just thoughts, okay? They're there. They come from emotion. They come from, okay. Let's get back to the topic here. Just learn how to be here and now, and you will understand what I'm saying, okay? No matter what happens out there, if you're still alive and you're still well, there is no reason for you to keep reacting negatively towards it. Just be calm. You don't have to be willy-nilly happy every second of the day, but be calm and be there. I'll see you guys in the next mental health series. Thank you so much for listening.